Hello everybody and welcome back to the Hungry House Husband Show. Today I'm making for you Gorditas. Now I'm not going to make the entire Gordita, just the wrap itself is super simple, super easy, super quick, and taste fantastic. They're nice, they're thick and pillowy and soft, and just I could eat them on their own, maybe with a little butter, some nacho cheese or something. But this is good stuff, so let's get this going. So we'll begin by adding 2 cups of flour into a mixing bowl, and we're going to add to that 1 1/4 cups of boiling water. Now, why we add the boiling water is because we basically want to get rid of some of the starch in this. We want to quote unquote cook it out. Now I'm using my finger quotes here. It's not hot enough to cook it. It's not going to stay hot enough for long to cook it, but it will remove some of that starch. This is going to make it nice and pillowy. Now once this is smooth, we will go ahead and let it sit for 30 minutes or so, just to let the temperature come down on it a little bit, so we don't kill our yeast. So at this point it's been sitting for 30 minutes, and we're going to go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients here. So get it going. You can see it has a cake batter like consistency, maybe a brownie batter. It's a little thick for cake, but once you get going, add the rest of the flour, that last 1.25 cups or so of flour. I would hold back on that last 1/4 cup. Just for consistency purposes. Make sure you knead it. Don't just throw it in because it's there. Add in also the salt, the vegetable oil, and the yeast. Now you'll notice, for anybody out there who's actually made bread before, that this is not a lot of yeast. It's about half of what would go into a loaf of bread. This is because we don't want it to rise that much. We're not making bread here. We are making a thick, pillowy tortilla. If you are using a stand mixer, do remember shut it off at least once and scrape down the sides. This will make sure you don't have any flour pockets and catch any flour that may be clinging to the side of the bowl. So here I'm adding just a little bit more flour, that last 1/4 cup. It's just real slow, just to make sure that's the consistency I'm looking for. Once it's nice and tight, we're going to take it out of the mixer, put it into a bowl or other container, and just let it rise as you would any normal bread for about 45 minutes to an hour. Now on a silicone baking mat or your counter, go ahead and spread some flour out, and we're going to take our dough, which has been proofing for about an hour, and you'll see here it hasn't gained a whole lot of mass to it. It's maybe almost doubled, but not quite. So we're going to take that out and basically cut it into sections. Now cut it into a half, and then each of those halves into a half, and each of those halves into another half. So you're going to end up with about 8 or so little lumps of dough. So give it a good knead here real quick, just to make sure it doesn't stick to everything. And you see it's very pliable, not a whole lot of gluten in this. There's some, it will pull back a little bit, but not much, which is a good thing. Because we're looking for softness and airiness. So go ahead, cut it once in the middle, and then once that's done, we're going to go ahead and cut 1/2 into a half, and then each of these you should be able to get 2, maybe 3. So you're going to end up between 8 and 12 little balls of dough. Just kind of depends on how big you want them. I like mine big, and they're going to be kind of thick, so I went for the 8. Go ahead, take it with some floured hands and just roll it in a little ball for a few seconds, and then fold it over in your hand and kind of make like you're making a biscuit or a roll or something like that. We're just looking for a nice smooth ball of dough, basically. Once you get that, we're going to go ahead and put it down and then start on the next. So here you can see my 8 little balls of dough. We are going to cover them with some plastic wrap here and just let them sit for about 30 minutes or so. So here we are 30 minutes later. You can see they've risen still a little bit, but not much. Now we get to roll them out and just form them into the tortilla. So to start with, on the rolling, definitely lots of flour. Flour is your friend. These are sticky still. Flour both sides. Take your handy dandy rolling pin and just start laying into it. Now we're not looking for super thin here. We're going for about a 1/4 inch or so. That will make them nice and fluffy, but still thin enough to be able to fold and not make a mess or worry about it splitting or anything like that. So once you've rolled one out, go ahead, do this while you have a pan heating up. Now you want to get this pan, I wouldn't say screaming hot, but about medium high heat. I would probably edge farther towards medium high. Now you can take them and put them on a plate. If you stack these doughs, do remember to put something in between the dough itself, some wax paper or some parchment paper, because they will stick to each other. So now in our hot pan, we are going to go ahead and put our tortilla dough. Now this dough is going to cook, depending on the temperature, about 3 or so minutes per side. It's going to bubble up, and that's where your little air pockets that make it all pillowy come into play. And just watching this, you can see the texture on the top. You can see where it's rising up in certain places and forming those little chambers, almost kind of like a pita bread, but not quite as thick or tough on the outside. It is going to turn brown in spots, and that's how you know when to turn it. So do it again, other side, 2 minutes. You can see how thick it is, and you just stack them up, and when you're done, just get to eating. These things are amazing. Again, butter goes great on them. Cheese goes great on them. The Gordita fillings are basically, I just made some taco filling and made tacos out of them, or kind of my own little Gordita. And these things were magnificent. I would eat them probably at least once a week if I could. So definitely give them a try. Do appreciate, if you leave a comment, like, or subscribe. Just a question for everybody: where did you find my channel? How did you hear about it? Let me know in the comments if you would. I would greatly appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you give this a try. You're going to love it. But until next time, may your life and your food always have flavor. Bye-bye.